Right. So, when our speakers is getting ready, let me first welcome you to the first webinar of the Contemporary Arts and Music Performance Festival camp, hosted by the Department of Cultural and Creative Arts at the Education University of Hong Kong. So, for this year's festival centers on the theme of composer and performer interaction, celebrating the dynamic collaboration between composers and performers in bringing artistic work to life. We will have two webinars and one concert. And the second webinar will be held on 8th of May 2025 at 7 a.m. Hong Kong time. And the concert will be performed by the Roma String Quartet and me on 9th of May 2025 at 8 p.m. Hong Kong time at the theater of Sheung Wan Civic Center in Hong Kong. So today, we are very honored to have two composers sharing their insights to us. And we will first invite Mr. Wang Chi-san presenting his work. Wang Chi-san is now a PhD candidate majoring in composition involving ethnomusicology at the Education University of Hong Kong. And he has awarded degrees including Master of Arts in Music Education, as well as Bachelor of Education honors in music by the same institution before. Integrating traditional Chinese culture, especially folk elements and Western contemporary composing techniques, is his main composing interest. Now, he has more than 10 formal compositions, including concerto, symphonic poem for orchestra, and wind band, as well as chamber music already. And our second speaker today is Professor Chi Lee, Taiwanese American composer. Chi Lee's work were described as eye-openingly, befittingly complex, but rather arresting to hear by Boston Globe, exploring a variety of offbeat textures and unusual techniques by gramophone and Eastern techniques blended with sophisticated modern writing style by Amandel's The Monthly Magazine of Great Music. Lee has received honors including winning the Brandenburg Symphony International Composition Competition, Guggenheim Fellowship, IAWM Theodore Franz Prize, ISCM/League of Composers Competition, International Festival of Women Composers Composition Prize, and Marco Competition. She has received commissions from Boston Symphony Orchestra, Harvard Foundation, Barlow Endowment, Taiwan National Culture and Arts Foundation, National Taiwan Symphony Orchestra, Taiwan Philharmonic, National Orchestra of Korea, and Taiwan National Chinese Orchestra, just to name a few. Her music has been performed at Carnegie Hall, the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, UNESCO International Rostrum of Composers, and various international festivals and broadcasts around 40 countries in 5 continents. All right, so welcome everyone. And now let's welcome Mr. Wong presenting his work, named Hometown Opus 16, as well as the compositional ideas behind. Welcome, Mr. Wong.
Yes, can you see my PowerPoint? Yes. Okay, thank you. Good evening, who are on Zoom and in Hong Kong, and good morning, who are in Canada. I'm as Dr. Philbert Lee introduced me. I'm now a PhD candidate in music composition at the Education University of Hong Kong. Today, I would like to share you some creating background and composition techniques of my piece Hometown for String Quartet, which will be performed on the next Friday by Roma Quartet, which you will be interested in what I share with you today, and hope you will not be boring. Apply or utilizing folk music elements in contemporary music composition is my main composition interest. So, and also our research focus mentioned in the last slide and Dr. Philbert's need. Zhongshan water song, salty water song is one of my target folk music invested by fieldwork, including participant observation, interview, focus group, etc. in my research. And Zhongshan salty water song was listed into the first batch of National Intangible Cultural Heritage Directory in 2006 already. Actually, Zhongshan salty water song as a genre includes different types of salty water songs. So now I would like to introduce what salty water song is firstly. Salty water song in Chinese is 鹹水歌, or in 普通話 is 鹹水歌. It's a traditional folk song sung by 水上人, and you can see literally means people living on boats. And it is sung with different accents and dialects of Cantonese. It mainly circulates in the Pearl River Delta, and now we call this area Greater Bay Area, where 水上人 mainly lives in. You can see different types of salty water song and this on the slide, and Zhongshan salty water song includes most of them as a genre I mentioned before. The different types of salty water song are classified according to the lyrics structure, rhythm, the shouting phase before the singers sing their song, some embarrassed tone after they finish their song to express their melody, as well as what they song, their context. Now, let me share you what's my findings in my data by fieldwork. This is the excerpt of my finding. Honestly, transcribing these different recording to musical score is not an easy job. First, judge each meter is first a tough job since each meter is always changing. This is an excerpt of songs by Chen Jibin, and it's totally improvisation. Maybe let's listen to it first. Oh, can you hear it? Can you listen to it?
Yeah, we can hear that. Just not that smooth.
Okay. Let me set it first. Oh, I didn't click. Okay, let's listen to it. Yes. You can listen. This phrase is very smooth. However, its meters is always changed. It's because of its lyrics phrasing. It's tricky that there is a numerical structure in his singing. Each semi-phrase are with calculational relations with the previous and the next semi-phrase, just like the excerpt we see. The meter of the second phrase, that means which is in 6/4 time. Here, the second semi-phrase is a triple of the first, and the third is a half of the second, and the fourth is at 1 beat. If a beat is in a fourth note, or at a half beat if a half note is a beat. This numerical structure seems characteristic even though it is totally an improvisation. So this is one of my findings for my fieldwork and my recording. Okay. And next, we see what. And this is my another finding, is the pitch system. And now I will introduce what the pitch system is. This is another excerpt songs by 羅子梅, and let's listen to it first. Yes, it is quite easy to recognize some horizontal intervals are quite special and not normal because there are some microtones intervals. As said in the previous slide, it is hard to transcribe this recording to music scores since there are also many microtones, and I need to confirm what the actual pitch is by frequency and spectrum analyzed on computer, but not only by our ears or different musical instruments. As we see in the score, the melody is in a special scale. And now I would share you what this scale is. This scale is actually a pentatonic scale. However, it is not an hemitonic pentatonic scale we know in Chinese music, which told us in different textbooks. It is a special pentatonic scale since there are nature tones. Nature tone means some pitches are not stable. In this time, it may be sounds a little bit flattened. Maybe the next time it can be sounds a little bit sharpened. And next, there is a two pentatonic scale, and let's listen to these two pentatonic scale first for making a comparison. This is so-called traditional and hemitonic pentatonic scale. And the next one is the scale, what I found, what I discovered. Yes, there are quite obvious difference in two scales, and as they are different, so their intervals are also not the same. Nice, the neutral third in the pentatonic scale in Zhongshan Salty Water Song, nature second, a no minor third. That means a minor third, but a tone is the upper tone or higher tone is little bit flattened. So this interval is near a major second, but is higher than a major second. And the same interval, a high major second, is it includes the same amount of quarter tone or semitone with the no minor third. So this is so this interval also did not exist in traditional pentatonic scales. So because this special interval, a perfect fifth and perfect fourth, that means the first the sixth scale degree, the high C and the high G, which is a perfect fifth, can be symmetrically divided because this interval and a perfect fourth, that means a high G, there are quarter sharp G and a quarter sharp C, a high C, can be also symmetrically divided by this interval. So this is another finding for my field work. Oh, and other finding is the timbre. You can see different waveform and their spectrum analyzed. The spectrum from D4 is the first tone 攞準備升 and we listened to before. Actually, a default in a Western string instrument, its waveform is a triangle waveform. And you can see this waveform is very structured. Different formats is like is according to its harmonic series. So it decide what this timbre is. So first, this tone is generated by a computer. Whatever it is, we listen to what the timbre is in triangle waveform. Yes. So, and we listen to 羅聲嘅her first pitch. You can see this spectrum is very not in order. One of the reasons is because of background noise, but the main reason is her singing's overtone. And the harmonics is not so in order. So it decides what her timbre is. And we listen to it to make a comparison. Just the first tone. And you can see from the spectrum, it is very many peak and formants. That means the highest points of the spectrum. And so it decides its timbre is very different with a string instrument, a Western string instrument. And now I will tell you how I apply or utilize this finding in my composition for a string quartet. Oh, as I mentioned, there are some special interval, but I want to make some sonority and make some interval not exist in a single pentatonic scale, even though it includes many microtone intervals. So I choose two pentatonic scale of 中山 salty water song and synthesize them into an octatonic scale. So different intervals like a quarter tone interval, semitone interval can be synthesized. So we listen to this scale. Just like octatone scale out of tune. So I think this is quite special a scale, and this interval can construct some special sonority. So different voices will, and there are two scale. One is the B flat is an tonic, and other E is an tonic. So it synthesizes this scale. And different voices will be played by different played in different tonics. So a octatonic scale can be synthesized by this method. The meter also in numerical structure. You can see this excerpt. The bar 24 is in 4/8 time. Next one is 5/8 time. The third is 6/8 time, and the last is 7/8 time. So I also applied this numerical structure and their idea into my composition. Oh, so the timbre is another characteristic, as I mentioned in my collect data. And as we know, the difference between noise and pitch is their vibration frequency predictable or not. As we see in the previous slide, 羅準備timbre is not in order. Some of us will think it is very noisy because its performance or the peak is not in order. It disturbs the fundamental frequency. So for making, but I think this is a characteristic element in my collect data. So for showing this primitive timbre, voices in different tones are very close. You can see the first violin and the second violin are always overlapped. And look at the pitch, the note head in orange, that means it's the main melody, because the two voices are very, overlapped and interweaving. So autatonic scale I mentioned in the previous slide can be synthesized by this method. And all the some primitive timbre can be also bring out. So the intervals in not individual scales can be also synthesized, like the quarter tone interval and semitone interval, like the 6/8 time, the 58 bar, the lower D with a high C played by first violin and second violin. This interval can be brought out by this method. So although different voices are interval in horizontal method, in horizontal motions, each of them can be an individual melody. That means if they can play solely, it is also a melody. So, but it doesn't mean a vertical dimension. Maybe a harmonic dimension is not my consideration. It is also considered according to its horizontal motion as well as their consonance level. So like the bar at 172, the two violin C and high C, then it is very dissonant because they are just a quarter tone interval. But in the next beat, B flat and a lower D is a nature third. It seems more consonant. So I also consider its vertical dimension and vertical sonority, but not only the horizontal motion. This difference of the change of consonance levels, which Paul Hindemith called, this is a harmonic fluctuation. So we will bring different colors in the music, but not only in the traditional functional harmony, and we focus on this color more in this way. Yes, and so in my string quartet I applied this different composition techniques and the findings what I analyzed from my fieldwork data into this composition, which will be performed in next Friday. So if you are not resist to listen to this noisy music, please come next Friday to listen to it. Yes, and this is the end of my sharing. Thank you for listening to this boring theory and composition techniques.
Thank you, Chi-san. And indeed, it is a lot of new information for me, at least I do enjoy. Let's open the time for the grant. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in the webinar chat box, and we will answer it. I'll share it to the composer. Any questions from the audience? When we're waiting, I do actually got one question for Mr. Wong. And well, I do remember you record Lao Chi Mei's singing and you transcribe her singing into the scale. And I wonder, like, do other folk singers sing similarly to with like how Lao Chi Mei sing, or that's some very special reason behind that you pick this specific singers for your work?
Oh, why I choose is because they at that day as Chen Jiebin and her and other two singers with them, they are here to give performance on a birthday banquet. So I know they will they are healed and they will give a live performance from morning to night for a whole day. So I bring my recording equipment to them and I ask them may I should have a recording or to interval and different fieldwork procedure with them. They said it's fine. I'm welcome to come to them. So I come to them for making some recording and make a participant observation. So and different because they are healed and they just sing with a microphone and there are no musical instrument or the MMO some background music with them. So as they mentioned, and some scholar in mainland mentioned, this is the so-called real primitive salty water song. So I think as this is their singing was not intervened by scholar and other musicians. So I think so-called maybe their singing is so pure and true. So I I come to them and record their singing and analyze as my office. So I find, and it is very shocked to me. Their scale and their sing, how they can sing this in the miracle silver, but they are only totally improvisation. They have no prepared lyrics. They just know what who their employers is families, his family's background information, how many family members, what their occupation. So they improvise according to this information. So I was shocked how they can improvise by this information only and makes very logical structure in their music. Yeah, so I record their singing as the Bangkok. Yeah.
Thank you, Chisen. That's very inspiring and indeed very unique singing style that we look forward to your piece to be performed next week.